What was a fact that you regret knowing? My dad and I both took DNA tests for fun and I found out we aren't related. 0% match. Life hacks for when you don't want to tell your child directly they're adopted. The magnitude of how dirty hotel rooms are. The worst part of this for me is that I worked in housekeeping at a hotel one summer when I was in high school. Maybe that particular hotel was just really good at keeping the place clean and was an exception, but I do have to wonder how much crap I just never noticed because I was a dumb teenager. The disappointing part of this is that I've worked front desk at a bunch of different hotels, and those housekeepers are truly busting their asses. It's the hotel's fault. One place I worked had them clearing room in 11 minutes, and 5 of that was just vacuuming. Actor Daniel von Bargen, Super Troopers, Seinfeld, attempted suicide by shooting himself in the temple with a .38 revolver. He was diabetic and didn't want to go to the hospital for another amputation. Unfortunately, he survived and was severely wounded. He also was permanently blinded from the gunshot. There's a transcript of the police call that left me shook. He passed away 3 years later from a battle with diabetes. I remember reading this is why some people duct tape the gun to their hand if they attempt suicide in case the first shot doesn't complete the job. Edit, for those asking why the duct tape. I believe the idea is that you can damage the part of your brain that affects your vision but not die from it. Then you are possibly disabled, blind, and in pain but unable to finish what you started if you dropped or lost the gun. Not much fun to think about. Had a family friend that failed to kill himself that way also, managed to blow his jaw off. If things were bad before. I didn't know he had died. That's terrible. Chainsaws were originally meant to be a surgeon's instrument. To aid in childbirth. No joke, Google it. I'm guessing medical chainsaws look vastly different than the chainsaws we know of today. The youngest recorded person to give birth was 5 years old. Edit, for those asking, here's the link. I just was reading about that again yesterday. It is so sad, I can't even fathom. Her mom said the daughter started getting periods at age 3. The dad was arrested under suspicion that he was the rapist, but they couldn't prove it so they let him go and never found out who it was. Her son grew up thinking they were brother and sister, but he was told at age 10 that his sister was actually his mom. So wild. Jesus, she had her first period at 8 months of age and the doctors who helped her give birth confirmed she had fully mature genitals. From my first job at KFC, you can't really tell the chicken is spoiled once you put it in the fryer. A friend that used to work at KFC said that they were told not to throw away the spoiled chicken. They would just boil it before frying, so yeah. No more KFC for me. Every year thousands of children write to Santa Claus. One of the most requested things children ask for on their Christmas lists is a dad. This hurts. I'm going to get a drink. I watched someone jump off the Stone Arch Bridge in Minneapolis and saw them pee their pants right before they jumped. My parents are swingers, and now well into their 70s. So you know that old folks' homes have the highest percentage of STDs, as they won't have to worry about getting pregnant. That reminds me of a story of my former roommate. There used to be a show on HBO called Real Sex. One night I was already asleep and my roommate runs up and wakes me in a panic to come down to see what is on Real Sex. His parents were on the episode about swingers and that was how he found out. I knew his parents well, so after that it was hard not to chuckle when we were around them. Cockroaches can fly at 5 km/h and can live 3 weeks without their head. They eventually die of starvation. They have a main brain in their head and also a primitive brain near their abdomen. Cockroaches also predate grass. The last one is not that scary but kinda scary knowing they've been here so long, so getting them out will be harder and they will probably outlive humans. Edit reworded some stuff. Oh lord, I hate them so much and wish I hadn't read this. Cockroaches also predate grass. For a second I thought you meant predators in Predator and wondered how you can hunt grass. That you have to clean lumps out from underneath a horse's foreskin from time to time. No. No, I don't. They're called beans. They're an accumulation of smegma that gets trapped right in front/above of the urethral opening. They can cause mild discomfort or extreme pain and urinary problems if not cleaned out. My horses get them removed during their annual teeth float or some other veterinary act that uses sedation. Some horses have to have them removed more often. Edit, my most upvoted and awarded comment, it's about horse smegma. Awesome? Bob Ross actually hated his afro. When he started out it was the cheapest hairstyle to maintain, and once he picked up some traction it was too iconic to get rid of. This is the saddest thing I've read. I'm not going to share it with anyone. Now this is the burden I carry. Oh no. There was an experiment once where, every hour, a rat had to choose between getting fed or having the pleasure nerve of its brain stimulated. And the rat being tested starved every time. It's pretty interesting but also kind of sad. Thanks, Freeman's Mind. Yes, but for those experiments, they keep the rats isolated in cages with nothing else to do. So of course they choose that option all the time. That experiment was later disproved. The space for the rat was really small. When they then conducted the experiment again where the space was large and had a bunch of rat toys/mazes/etc., the rats did fine. This proved that addiction is driven more by the circumstances than the chemical hooks in the drugs. An octopus penis is actually one of their tentacles. So if you would go and pet an octopus at SeaWorld or some other place, you could be groping their penis. This happened in Dragon Ball Super. So wait, they have 7 legs and a dick, or 8 legs and a dick? Do female octopuses have fewer tentacles than males, or do they have more legs but the same number of tentacles? More people jumped from the burning World Trade Center on the 11th of September than you think. Do yourself a favor and don't Google it. This is the fact I was going to post. Watching 9/11 on TV, I was too young to know what was going on, but I remember my dad crying and saying they're jumping over and over. God. One of the most vivid memories I have from 9/11 is seeing people jumping from the top floors, and then when they hit the trees their arms and legs would fall off due to the velocity, I guess. Fucked me up for ages. That my girlfriend once sucked her friend's husband's penis when she went to the bathroom yesterday. Don't put yourself through the pain of trying to continue the relationship. I've made that mistake before and it isn't fucking worth it. Leave her and find someone better. Also, the wife needs to know too, unless you don't think she can handle the news. Fuck cheaters. Ouch bud. That my father died believing that I was not his child. When my mother told me, it broke my heart and has forever changed my relationship with my family. Edit. Thanks for your interest in my story. It's helped to put answers to some of your questions, and to read some of your stories. Why did he believe that though? And because of the wording I assume he was wrong? That pistachio you get every few nuts that tastes a bit funny is because a navel orange worm died inside of it. Sorry. Just think about eating its cute furry head next time. I just ate half a bag last night, and I had several weird ones. Fuck. Thanks, I hate this. I was absent-mindedly eating pistachios while driving and got one that was still closed. It happens, cracked into it anyway. It felt like I had hair in my mouth and the nut was squishy and tasted rancid. Spit the damn thing out and found a half-empty cocoon. Almost crashed pulling over to vomit. Man, that just reminded me of the time I ate a Brazil nut and it has tiny maggots or worms inside it. I died a little that day. I always check out each pistachio before eating them, and I've found the little desiccated grubs before. I mentioned this to a friend once, who replied I've never found a grub. Coincidentally, at the time of asking, this friend did not look at the pistachios before eating them. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.